2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, BBR.
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 Hello, BBC. This is Big Boy Talk, episode 18 or 19? 18, I think. Yeah. We still have the mugs. Who knows what we'll have in the future.
Mugs.
And today we want to talk about integrity. What makes someone a person of integrity, person of character, and you are asking, can someone really be a person of integrity? Is there a word for can a person be integer? A person of integrity, I think we're gonna have to call him.
We should have researched that.
Yeah.
But we didn't, so let's call it. But when you talk about a person of integrity, you're thinking of someone who's honest, who's how do you call?
Who does what he says.
Who does what he says and says what he did. Okay. Yes, because
that sounds good.
it is good because in Romanian, I had this conversation I think 12 years ago with a colleague of mine.
Oh, I remember that day.
And I said, for me, in the work environment, I didn't call it integrity, but I called it honesty. I said 2 rules in this honesty is if you tell me what you did, so no lying. If you did something, you don't tell me that you did something else.
Okay.
And you so the first one is you tell what you did and you do what you tell.
In the future.
In the future. If I say I'm going to go there, go there. Don't tell me that you'll go there and not go. Don't tell me that you're going to that client and I know that you said this and I think that you're going to do it, but you don't keep your word. So keep your word and be truthful. Say the truth.
So about the past.
The past and the commitments you take in advance, respect those. Even if they're not the most convenient thing to do.
Yeah, I just saw a post online on Men's Humor, I think, or on some Facebook page, and it said, I just saw a girl at the gym while I was running on the treadmill, and she just started the machine, let it run, stood next to it, and played on her phone. After 15 minutes, she took a picture of the time and of the miles. Then took a selfie in the mirror with a fancy water bottle and then went home. Which is brilliant. But also not a person of integrity.
Yeah, but what you're planning to promote online, it's a character. And that character goes to the gym, reads a lot. It's no big deal. Grab a book, open it in the middle, and take a selfie with yourself and say, "Okay, almost done." But
but that would make people try to catch you in the act and ask you about the book and stuff. But with the gym example, you can't really prove someone a liar.
Yeah, but you have this page
Maybe
post that does exactly that, proves that someone's a liar. So,
back to
we were talking about integrity. We were asking, okay, we expect others to be
people
honest,
of integrity.
to be honest, or to be not to change their opinion, not to change their stance or on a subject or on in a situation, depending on what he gains out of it.
Yeah, what's convenient.
Exactly. So we consider in this integrity. So, and the next question is, can you really be 100% honest can you really be a person of integrity 100%?
All the time.
All the time, yeah. Can you truly be that?
Your question and your tone tells me that you think not. What I was thinking was that you could be, as long as you admit your shortcomings, and as long as you admit then that in certain areas you're not that great, or you're not that great yet.
So if I say I'm an honest guy, but I steal from work. But I'm honest about it. I'm telling you that sometimes I'm stealing stuff from work. Does that make me a person of integrity? Just because I admit my shortcomings?
It makes you honest, definitely. And
Honest?
about integrity,
Honest in this situation, in this conversation.
Yeah.
But in my relationship with my boss or my company, I'm not honest.
yeah, that's true. And that's true because there is an established standard that you probably signed when you were employed that said, don't steal. So you're breaking that,
Yes.
breaking that rule. But we're getting into integrity and morality here, which we said we wouldn't do because it's a really complicated thing. But I think you practically in day-to-day life, and when I think about myself and when I think about the people around me, it's really, really tough, one, to say, to do what you said you were gonna do, especially if you want a challenging life and you say you're gonna do a lot of stuff, and then way tougher to admit that you didn't do things, because you tend to forgive yourself, you tend to recreate the past in a way that makes you look like a better person or makes you look stronger than you actually were.
But if Joko would be here with us on this table, what would he say? First of all, take responsibility for the things you did.
Yeah.
Admit it. Okay, it was my fault. I did it.
That's
So this
hard, really hard. Yeah.
That's hard, but it's something that you can conquer. You can actually do.
Yeah.
But the second one, he would say that don't take more responsibilities that you are able to handle. So
Then you're
don't try to be an overachiever when in areas that you cannot do it, because you will just feel to yourself and you will appear to the others as someone who's not trustworthy. He said that he will do a lot of things, and think about this. I say I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. I'm going to read 2 books a week. I'm going to spend 8 hours a day with my kids. I'm going to do this. If I don't do them, and a year from now, I'm telling my wife, I'm going to work on this project, what will she think? No, you won't. Because I know you, I know your track record. You're just saying things that are way above your capacity, way out of your reach, and you're just saying stuff. And you're not trustworthy anymore. You're not someone that's a person of integrity. You're someone who dreams a lot. So if I think at least when telling others what you want to do, tell them the things that you are positive that you will do them. Because when you tell people, I'm going to write a book, and in 2 years, people will ask you, so how many pages did you write? 3? You will seem, even if it's something that's not important to them, you will seem someone who's not able to carry a task that they assigned themselves. And maybe that objective or that goal for you to write a book was not even that important. But if you say it out loud, that becomes something that you will be judged upon by others. So I think that it's better that you just tell others the things that you will do that you will actually do. Don't tell them, I'll go to the gym 3 times a week, and after 3 months you're still fat, you went twice in 3 months, because people will say, okay, you're just lazy, you're just full of excuses, and you're not trustworthy. And the next time that you will take a responsibility, people will, one, not give you responsibilities as often, because they will think that you will not complete them. Because you are the guy that takes upon himself things that he's not able to carry.
That's really interesting. I'm stuck on the thing you say about the wife. And one idea that I would say I agree with is being a person of integrity, being an honest person, is about the decisions you make, but it's not defined primarily by you. You can fool yourself by telling yourself that you're a person of integrity, but I think the person who actually knows it, or who actually can say if you're a person of integrity, is the person who's closest to you physically, who is, in our cases, our wives, because you tend to forgive yourself, you tend to be lazy. Not me, you. Each of us tends to do these things, but you can't fool the person who's closest to you, because they know what you actually do with your time. And I would say that not even their words are the most important things, but their attitude when you tell them what your goal is. If you go to your wife and tell her, okay, I'm gonna do something really good, I'm gonna go to the gym 4 times a week, let's say, then I think in this case the wife most likely isn't gonna crush you, because
She wants
the
you to do that,
relationship, yeah, she wants you to do that. But the way she reacts is a really important thing to consider, because the people closest to you tend to tell you the truth up front, and if the first reaction is encouragement, you can do this, how can I help, then you could say, wow, this objective I already know it's gonna be tough, but I think it could be done. But if the reaction you get is, really? Are you really? No, it's fine, but are you really going to do that? That means...
I know that you're going to do it.
Yeah.
But we'll go to the movies.
Yeah, and I think that's really a really interesting thing to consider. And I was thinking of another thing, one that I think frustrates most men at one point or another, and we experienced it too. I don't know if it's a general rule. Wives don't like watching their husbands play video games. They don't understand, even though they like to play them themselves, certain games, I don't think they understand the appeal of it, what's so fun about it, and that's basically wasted time. But they do understand you doing other things, like if you want to write a book, I think they will do a lot of things to give you support with that. If you want to read something, if you want to make the house better in some way or another, basically, if you do things that make sense to them, are productive to them.
To them,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. And in the same way, we don't understand them, I don't know, spending a lot of time on Facebook or painting or doing stuff that doesn't make sense to us. But yeah, we can't really tell them they're wasting time, but they can, which is an unfair thing about marriage, but there are other things that are fair, so it's fine in the end. But it's really interesting to me, the support that you get. And
When they approve.
yeah, in our case, from our wives, in the case of people who aren't married, from their closest friends or stuff like that, you will get a lot of support when something is good. You also get the confirmation that you're not crazy, that what you want to do and your objective is a sane one, a moral one, probably something that will make your life better and other people's life better, and it's something that you should do. I think that's really interesting. That's maybe a confirmation of the fact that you're on the path of integrity and honesty, and the confirmation that you want to make yourself better through a certain action. And that's a really important thing. And if the person, if you, there's a bug. And if the person next to you, so if you want to do a good thing and you get no support and somebody wants to drag you down, that could mean that the person closest to you isn't really your friend. And in time, you will grow apart from them and get new friends. I think that inevitably happens. But I think you can walk a righteous road, maybe, let's say it in that way, when you make a good decision and then you're supported by the people closest to you.
This kind of confirms that you can't actually be a person of integrity all by yourself, only yourself to consider this.
Yeah.
People around you will judge you, and they will evaluate if you really are the person that you say you are. And sometimes they let some mistakes slide. They don't actually, as long as they like you. If they like you and you don't offend them personally, people will say, yeah, he's a good guy. He sometimes does some shady stuff, or doesn't tell the whole truth, or doesn't really do what he said he did, but he intends well. He has good intentions.
Yeah, he means well.
He means well, yeah. But they say this because they like you, so it's important to be liked by others.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's important to really keep this balance. In the Bible, you have the example with the two sons. One that says, "I'm going to do the work," and doesn't do it, and the other that says, "I'm not going to do it," but in the end he says, "I'll do it anyway."
He feels bad and
He feels bad and does it anyway. Who would you rather have? Someone who says, "I'm going to do this and this and this," and doesn't do it, or someone that says nothing and actually does? Not that much, not as much as the first one painted in words, but little or more, but without any promise. You always appreciate that one. Even,
the second one, yeah.
the second one. Even if the first one will say, "I'm going to do 100 things," and he does 50. And the second one says, "I'm not going to do anything," and he does 30. You will value the second one more because he did 30 more than he said. The second one, the first one did 50 less than he said. So it's sometimes the things that we say to others, our objectives, our goals, sometimes bring us down in their heads, just because when you say, "I'm going to do that," in their head it's already done. And when you don't live up to that standard, they feel like they are betrayed, or they think less of you just because you said something, that you will do something.
Yeah.
So, and this is not a something that is in the same category as the other one. As, okay, I did something, and you lie about it. If someone asks you, "Did you do that?" Yes, and you didn't. That's something that you do on purpose. You said a lie on purpose. You know the truth and you said otherwise. But it's not the same thing. This is mean and wrong in a clear way. That is a lie. But the second one, it happens more often because people don't do it with bad intentions. The first one, you cannot say this and be with a clear conscience. You know that you were wrong. In the second example, the one that says that I will do this and this and this, you actually want it. And you don't think that you did something bad. But in the eyes of others, you appear as someone that's not so in many serious, but not serious. Someone that is respectable, that really respects the things that he planned.
Okay.
So and they'll think less of you because of that. So in the end, I think that it's better to speak less of your objectives, just so you won't be judged.
But I do think it's important to be a person of integrity and
Yes,
to get there not by playing it safe. I mean, you could say, I'm not gonna challenge myself to anything. I'm not gonna tell people that I'm gonna do a lot of things because I'm not gonna challenge myself, and that will make me a person of integrity. And it's true that will make you a person of integrity, but it will also make you pretty useless.
No, I disagree. Because everyone, the standards of our society are pretty high, even to be a normal person. Because if you define yourself as a Christian, you will have to be good, honest, not greedy, not that.
Okay.
You have a set of rules, even if you're a normal person.
Okay.
So if you respect those, you're already respecting or achieving a lot. So it's hard to be normal in society. And I understand the thing that you want to push yourself, but you don't push yourself just by exposing your ideas or your goals to others in an unrealistic, in a way that they will get to judge you afterwards. I've seen this some guys that they say online, if I'm going to do, I don't know, different things. I'm going to read 50 pages a day, and I have to report daily what I read, not in a detailed way, but something real. And I'm putting this online, and if I don't do that, I'm responsible. And some guy said that I will pay $100 to a charity every time I don't do it.
To charity I don't like.
Oh no, or I'll pay someone else.
Okay.
I'll get a friend that will check on me, and if I don't do the thing that I said I would do, I have to pay him $100 every day that I don't do that.
Okay.
And this is a cool way, and a hard way to keep yourself accountable.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Motivate yourself.
Yeah, and keep yourself to have someone to keep track of you and keep you responsible. But you will not do this, and no one did this like this. Okay, I'll pay $100 if I don't go to the gym five times a week. Write 10 pages a day, and other 5 really huge objectives. Because am I able to do all that? No, it's not realistic. So in fact, I would have to pay $1,000 a week just because I don't do it. So I will put some smaller objectives that are reachable, that are attainable, that are. If someone asks me, "Did you do it?" I will force myself, but I have a way of doing them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this example with the money that you have to pay is the same in reality with the trust that you have to pay. Every time you don't do the things that you said to the world that you will do, you're not paying money, but you're paying with your trust. People feel that your trust account is emptier because they say, okay, he says this, but he's not actually doing it, and they trust you less every time you do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's
Another thing. That doesn't mean that you cannot tell yourself, I want to do all those. But the things that you tell yourself and the things that you say out loud to the others are different in the way that you can tell yourself bigger things, bigger ideas, but others tell the things that you're actually going to do. With effort, with lack of comfort, with challenges, but things that will, at the end of the week, you'll say, okay, it was hard, but I was able to do them. And if you're not able to do them, if it's just a dream, it's better not to tell others about that dream and say, okay, I think I'll work on this week. Because people tend to judge you upon on the things that you say. And you'll become less of a person of integrity.
Yeah, and that, so I agree with your point, and what I would expand about it is something that we talked about in the past. I think in one of the first episodes, the fact that there is a life, so there are decisions that make somebody normal and good, and there is a road that makes somebody great. And what I mean by that is, if you don't set objectives for yourself and don't tell other people, you could live a life that's not really relevant, because you said, in order to be normal, you still have a lot of things to do right. And I agree with that. But I would go above that and say that, and this is politically incorrect, we were made by God, and I talk about men and women, for certain purposes. And it's not enough as a man to live your life, try to be fair, pay what you have to pay and do the normal things. You also have to step outside of that and lead. You have to be a leader. And not everybody, but it's a responsibility of man.
Yes,
also, when I think
agree.
about women, they also have certain roles. And they have to do them. And these are lives characterized by doing what you actually have to do and making sure the next generation has the right moral fiber and has a great example in you, when I think about kids, is part of the responsibility. And you shouldn't, my main point is, you shouldn't seek integrity by doing less, even though that could be a viable road. You say, I'm not going to do a lot with my life, but I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do it. I'm saying you should take the road of, I'm going to do things that are harder, that involve working with people, that involve conflict, but I'm going to do it right.
But I'm going to do it anyway. But that's the big difference. Because you say, if you don't set high standards, you're going to have you're not going to have a relevant life. Yeah, most of us are irrelevant. Even the great ones are irrelevant. First of all, it's a more philosophical idea, but we're not that relevant. We're not changing the world. We're changing the environment. If I'm taking risks in that, and if I say, okay, I want to be the best. I want to do really big things, and my kids looks up to me and says, yeah, I want to be just like Daddy, a dreamer. Because if he sees that I actually do the things that I say to him that I'm going to do, he sees that my dad, yeah, he's not a rocket scientist. He doesn't change the world, but he's the guy that when he said that he would do this, he would actually do it. He's not someone that says, because my kid, this is from example, my kids, they keep track of the things that I say. They say, Daddy, you promised that we will go there.
Yeah.
And if I'm just wishful thinking and I say to them, oh, we'll go to the park and then we'll do this and we'll do this and I'm not, and I know that we don't have the time to do all those, they keep track of what I say and say, then why did you say it? Because if you say that we'll do all those things, I expect of you to do it. Even he, as a child, or she, accepts this or wants this for the adults in their lives. To keep their word. If you said that we're going there, take us there. And why would our relationships with others be any different? If we say that we will do things, or if we want to do great things, set them for ourselves. I want to do a great thing or a huge change or breakthrough in my life. Okay, this is my goal. I'm doing to work on it. But if I'm saying to all of those, okay, this is what I'm doing, and I'm not doing that, I'm disappointing. The same way that I'm disappointing my kid, that I'm not doing the thing that I said, the same way I'm disappointing my wife, my family, my community, if I say that I'm going to do something and I'm not going to do it. If you in church you say, okay, I'm going to take care of this department, and you say, I hope so, I have to sacrifice a lot, but this really is something that I want to do. If you don't do it, the things remain undone. And people will say, but why did you say you would do it? Because if you would said, I don't have the time, maybe we could find someone that has the time. But you said you would do it. So you took some responsibility that you couldn't provide after that. Why would you do that in public? Okay, if no one's taking that task, you can say, okay, I'm trying to do the best I can. But if you do this publicly, if you take upon yourself that responsibility, you should make sure that you do it.
Yeah.
Because your word is on the line. And if you don't do it, people will say, okay, he just says things.
Yeah, that's very true. And I would say, you started with talking about changing the world, and I would say you can change the world. Your world.
Yes.
Your world consisting of the people around you, and in that way, and that's a better subject for another time, I could argue that somebody who had integrity, was a man of character, and invested his life in his family while having a good life in the community was a person whose life was worth more than Elon Musk's life, who builds rockets, or Steve Jobs' life.
Something about Steve Jobs and
the technology was mad at us, yeah. So I was saying that it's arguably true that somebody who takes care of his own family and his own people and his world and makes sure that the right values are passed on to the next generation, that person's life is more important and was better lived than somebody who changed the world by creating a technological device.
It is
or
arguable.
gadget.
It is.
Yeah.
We can have a discussion.
I'm not really sure about that,
but
myself. But in this moment, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this, but
it is a very complex subject.
It is a complex subject, but I think we can discuss it sometimes in the future. But the idea that you have this responsibility and you want to be known as a person that has integrity, that actually does the things that he says he will do, and actually tells the truth when he says that he did this or that, that makes you a pillar in that community. That makes you someone that people can rely on. You can, on his word, if he said this, then it must be true.
That makes you a leader that's
Lincoln,
taking people
I cannot
somewhere.
tell a lie.
Yeah.
I think you can, but if you are known as the person that cannot tell a lie, but not in a physical way that cannot tell a lie, but you are proven in your past that you had the option of telling a lie and getting away with stuff, or telling the truth and accepting the consequences of that truth, and if you were proven in your life that you are the guy that said something, even if he loses something, anything in that when he made that decision, then your word becomes more trustworthy. If in different situations you come out as the guy that tells the truth, no matter what the consequences, you're the guy that even if he loses, he's not willing to lie. And if you do that, at some point your word becomes trustworthy. You are the guy that, okay, if he said that he saw something, he actually did it. He's not making it up. He's the one that if he says that he will do this for us, he will make sure, he will do anything in his power to do it, because his past told us that he's not just saying stuff that he wants, he's actually saying things that he wants to put the effort, and he will make anything to make good on his word.
And in that way, integrity builds credit in other people's eyes and enables the building of a better future through trust and through community.
And on this, I think we should end. See you next time.
See you next week.
Next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.